Who is this man? Well, at first glance, I always thought that I thought he had Down syndrome because, well, look at his face. Sorry, the ghost of Antoine. All right, this guy is a Frenchman. A Frenchman. Who is an aviator, a writer, a poet, and a lot of people. He is Antoine. Actually, let me write that down. Antoine de SAINT-EXUPÉRY. Oh, in French, Antoine de SAINT-EXUPÉRY. My French is not that good. Okay, and now let's talk about him today. Bum bucket bum 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 bucket bum bum dark 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 shun dark shun dark shun bum. Hi guys, welcome to a new episode on the channel. Look, my new haircut. I hope so. Today we will be talking about this Europe French guy called Antoine de SAINT-EXUPÉRY. And this, by the way, has a slash over the E. And this is literally how you spell the name. And here is how you pronounce it. Antoine de SAINT-EXUPÉRY. I found this on YouTube and my French is not that good. Okay. So, who is this French guy? Well, this French guy is a poet, a novelist. Let me draw it again. He is a poet, a novelist. Yeah, like this. And he is also an aviator. And the whole shebang. And this is how we really want to say his life in simple terms. His greatest novels and his most famous novels are these novels that I'm going to show you. It is The Night Flight. Sorry, I couldn't find, this was the latest picture available. Sorry, couldn't find a big one. Wind, Sand, and Stars. Okay, this Night Flight talks about his life, partially in his life of the World War II expeditions. The Wind, Sand, and Stars by Antoine de SAINT-EXUPÉRY. It was about his times in Africa. This one, The Airman's Odyssey, I'm not pretty sure about its plot, actually. And here is The Flight to Arras. And his most famous literature of all time, The Little Prince. Now let's dive into The Little Prince just a little bit. Now, here are the origins of the Little Prince. Now, if there was an author's note, I actually heard this on audiobook once, read by the author itself, where he was actually stranded in the middle of a desert, where he saw a boy. He saw a boy. Yes, literally a boy. It was like, he asked a lot of questions. He asked questions, but never replied. And that was just the beginnings of the Little Prince journeys. Now, the airman in the Little Prince story was actually Antoine de Saint himself. And the Little Prince literally is pretty good. I actually have the copy of The Little Prince right now. It says right here, The Little Prince, my copy of The Little Prince. And now I'm just gonna try my best to try to copy the image. Okay, so some hair, the nose, eyeballs, mouth. Spiky hair, neck, green clothing, bow tie, green clothing, shirt, tail, stringy lines, and then finally the arms. Okay, here's the belt, and now let's fill this in. Okay, so here is my best drawing, digital drawing of the Little Prince, according to this book that is. And of course, he lives on a planet, which is pretty purple in my perspective. So here's his little planet, and then here is his volcanoes. 3 volcanoes, 1 extinct, 2 still alive. This one alive too. And these are actually said to be good for cooking his breakfast. Like Sahara Desert, which is hot enough to cook breakfast. Right, I'm not gonna delete the Little Prince. Hope I can do my best shot. Oop, sorry, Little Prince hair. Okay, so this is a Little Prince here. Oh, I really want to take a screenshot of it. Yeah, actually, no, I'll do that later. Now, this is Little Prince himself, and he is said that to be seen with the aviator. And like, hey, I'm the Little Prince. He's like the Little Prince of the story, and there was a lot of things that we need to get into here. All of the things that the Little Prince might have been said or told about is literally probably just fake news, as they say in George and the Ship of Time. However, there is some type of desolate stuff where a lot of things can literally happen, all the possibilities. And that might be the end of the possibilities. And these are just beginnings of these possibilities. And why I'm saying the beginning of these possibilities is because that these people are not that probable. And as they say in this book, that grown-ups love figures a lot. My grown-ups do not like figures that much. Okay? Get back here to green. Green colored. And this is where a lot of things literally happen and get the mumbo jumbo parts. Now, the mumbo-jumbo parts I really want to talk about here is literally in the book itself. So, if you want to figure it out yourself, go ahead and read the book. But however, in simple terms, if you want to right now, it is this. There is a quote in The Little Prince that has said this. You should always look up into the skies. Something like that. This is something similar to that. Don't always, well, of course, you can't always. There's actually a lesson inside the Little Prince book. The Little Prince here is actually teaches us about the very, very possibilities of having similarities and the simplest ways of having fun and joy across all our lives by just simply remembering our childhood and acting it out ourselves. And that is where we actually get into us pretty much the same way. And this Little Prince over here is probably the key to our happiness, where we have lots of glory in our days. Lots of glory, some sunshine, a lot of sunshine. And that is where our glory lives in, our princess. Now let's talk a little bit about Antoine de Saint. Alright, Antoine de Saint was a military person. He was forced into going into the French military. He was forced to go into the French military. And this French military was nothing that he actually liked. He didn't even want to go there. These military people were actually pretty much the same people, if you want to ask me. And I just want to say here that Antoine de Saint might not have been able to do all of this, but his stories, his aviation stories, are actually quite an inspiration to us. His stories of the world, like right now, during his World War II stories, are actually pretty cool and also very inspiring to a lot of people. And he even promised his wife, if he does survive the war, they'll go into a romantic trip together. And then after he died, there's a statue in honor of him. And this statue has him with him and his own creation, the Little Prince himself. And now let me try to add some color to it. Okay, so I colored in the Little Prince, but sorry if it looks a little weird. These are the only colors available. And now let's just put it out. Yeah, it's kind of creeping me out. And this is a statue of honoring Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. and the little prince himself, his most greatest creation, the little prince. Pretty fancy way of writing the little prince here. And so yeah, that is basically it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next episode. Shinhan out. Peace!